you, Ro, but you know what the truth is? On behalf of Democrats in Congress, thank you, Norco. You are the I guess, where did John and Tommy go? Look, you know, I mean, Barack Obama was a pretty special person, but you saw why he gave such great speeches. He had the help of John, and you saw why he was for peace in the world and human rights, because he had the help of Tommy. Now, I know a lot of people who work for a lot of presidents, and let me tell you, some of them, they go on the speaking circuit afterwards. They get $30,000, $40,000 a pop. Others, you know, they go join some fancy firms. No, nothing against them, but that's what they do. You know what I admire about John and Tommy? Instead of saying, okay, I've worked for the greatest president in modern history, I'm gonna go make some money. They're out here fighting with all of us. And I want to thank Jane Kim. Isn't she fantastic, Jane? Push the envelope to talk about the issues that matter to the working and middle class before it became fashionable, and she is a real leader in this day. Thank you, Jane. And Larry, thank you for sharing your story. Look, it's not easy. You know, people just think, okay, you're going to get up here and talk about your health issues and your daughter's health issues. Those are really private things. Most people don't like to share that. Larry, the fact that you're sharing that with family here, or your extended family, I appreciate that. That's what it's going to take in this country. Let's give Larry a round of applause. You must be so proud of your daughters. And look, I think it's pretty simple. In America, you're not supposed to hide as a leader from people. And that's why I'm here. Just to listen to folks and to give voice to folks. I mean, your congressman, where's the chicken? Stand up. Your congressman, it's not just that he hasn't shown up for the last few months, he hasn't shown up for the last few years. And my question is, you know, I understand why he doesn't want to show up. It's kind of hard to justify what they're doing. You know, it's hard to justify what they're doing. $880 billion of cuts in Medicaid. You know, they think this is a game. They think it's politics. But what they don't understand, I was so moved. I was shaking hands, and two people, they started crying. They started crying, and they gave me a hug. And they said, Ro, help us. And I said, you know, I want to help, but it's going to take all of us. But what they're doing is cutting health care for people's families. People who need it. People who have elderly parents, taking away the health care for them. There was someone who said that they have an 11-year-old and a 9-year-old who are on special needs education. And they're taking away the funding for special needs education by cutting the Department of Education. This is not a game. This is not about politics. I've said before, I'd rather Ken Calvert do the right thing to save Medicaid, to save education, than come here for politics. My appeal to Ken Calvert is show up in your district next weekend. Almost here. If 1,000 people were in my district upset about something, I'd want to know what they were upset about. I'm going to say two more things, because then I want to really give this forum over to you and to hear your questions and your stories. You know, someone asked me today, do I still have hope about our democracy? I was thinking about that as I heard Tommy and John, because you know, no leader has given me more hope than Obama. And I thought about it, really, I thought about it. And I'm coming from Bakersfield, where we had 1,000 people. And then today, in Norco, Tommy's right, no, most people in Norco don't know who I am. 1,000 people showing up. You know what? The grassroots mobilization that's taking place around our country and around our state by angry and caring Americans gives me more hope for our democracy than ever. That is what is going to be a wake-up call for the billionaires. What they're doing is nothing new. And I'm going to open it up. Look, it's nothing new. We've been through this story before. In the 1920s, in the Gilded Age, there were a lot of people who had a lot of money. And you know what? They thought they were moving America forward. They were building the televisions and the radios and the cars. And there was a Secretary of Treasury. His name was Andrew Mellon. And he was the Elon Musk of his day. You know, and he told Herbert Hoover, he said, liquidate it all, liquidate government, liquidate the farms, liquidate labor, liquidate the stocks, because people are lazy. That's what they believe. And that they need hardworking people to take over. You know what? He didn't just hurt the working class. He didn't just hurt the middle class. He destroyed the economy with the Great Depression. And it took FDR to rebuild it. Because FDR understood that we actually are powered in this country by ordinary people. That's what they're doing. You know, I know these folks. I represent Silicon Valley. I admit it still. You know, I still can talk about it. And there's a lot that Silicon Valley has done that is terrific in terms of advancing technology. But you know what? Some of these folks have got it in their head that they're better than the rest of us. That they somehow are the ones advancing America. You know what? It's not them who are advancing America. It's people like Larry and their families who build America. And what they are doing by cutting Medicaid, by firing veterans, by cutting education, is destroying not just the working and middle class, it's destroying the economy. It's destroying the economy. Since December to now, the economy has started to slow. Inflation, Trump was supposed to fix it. Inflation is up. You know, what they are doing is actually devastating the economy. Now, the last point before we have questions. How many people here are veterans? Can you stand or raise your hand? Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you for your service. We make a simple promise in this country to veterans. If you wear the uniform, if you go out and serve in Iraq, in Afghanistan, then when you come back, we will honor you and take care of you. Here's what offends me about Trump and Musk's and Vance's broken promises. Donald Trump has never worn the nation's uniform. Hell no! Elon Musk has never worn the nation's uniform. How dare they think that they are qualified to tell our veterans that our veterans are unqualified? They're the last people who have the right to fire our veterans. 1/3 of federal employees are veterans. They're taking care of our parks. They're taking care of other veterans. They're helping provide health care. These are the people that Musk and Trump are firing without a plan. And it's time that we speak up. Let me end with this point. I told you I represent Silicon Valley and we do a lot of virtual things. But one thing you deserve is not having virtual representation in Congress.